think while people are here, feel free to say hi in the chat. I know people are from different places, so feel free to type where you guys are located. If my music is too loud, let me know. Just put in the chat if it gets too loud, if anything like that, or if this is the right tone. Otherwise, I think, you know what, Lynn, you could start, oh, we got someone from Texas, nice. South Seattle, yeah, cool. Anyways, Lynn, you could start introducing yourself. We can kick this off.
Oh yeah, sure. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Wellness Retreat event. My name is Lynn and I am the program coordinator of Hero. And I just want to say thank you for spending your time and joining in this event. And I hope you guys will be enjoying the workshop as much as we enjoy planning and hosting it. So now I will introduce our amazing speaker for today is Unica and Kim. So please feel free to take it away from here, Unica and Kim.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Unica. I am a senior at University of Washington. I'm in the Community Environments and Planning program. I am studying community health, global health, and marketing communication. So I'm very passionate about holistic health and wellness as well as business management. I am also the founder and executive director of Hero, which is a student-led health and wellness program for underrepresented students. We support student success and promoting healthy lifestyles as well. And during my spare time, besides journaling, I like to practice yoga. I also like to create vision boards, and I like to improvise on the piano.
Well, hello, I'm Kim. I'm a recent alum from the University of Washington, Seattle, and I graduated in public health, global health with minors in education and diversity. I started bullet journaling about 2 years ago. That just allowed me to brain dump and organize all my thoughts and kind of life in general. And in my spare time, I like to walk around parks, social distancing, of course, and just taking the time to appreciate different hobbies that I have to do.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna launch this poll, and it's just to check in on what really led you to attend this journal workshop. Either you want to learn more about journaling or how you get to start with it, or you just want to find a community of people who journal, or you're just here to, ground yourself, release tensions or emotions, or all of the above. So let's see where you guys are. Just to what led you here. Okay, so looks like most of you guys answered all of the above, or maybe just the first two. So let's share the results here. So that's cool. We just wanted to know, this is interesting because this is actually, Cam and I this is our first time leading a journal workshop. Usually this is a very personal topic, but I feel like this could also be shared with others because it can be very empowering as well. But real talk though, don't worry, we won't go too much into our storytelling or anything like that, but what really led us to journal is, for me personally, I had a really hard time. I went through a really, really hard time in the past. I was lost, I was confused, I was a little bit disconnected with myself, and I didn't know how to deal or cope with stress or emotions. By the way, is my music too loud? Let me actually stop share for a bit, because I think that could be distracting. Otherwise, actually, you know what? I don't know how to do that right now. So sorry. But it's okay. Anyways, to continue where I was at, I wanted to find something where I could just brain dump everything into a certain outlet, and I discovered journaling was a way for me to do that. I just wanted to figure out what was the root problem of why I'm feeling this emotion. And then it's just through years of journaling, it just became more about self-awareness. I was able to understand where my emotions come from, where my thoughts are coming from. And for me, it felt really good to be able to have control with my emotions through pen and paper. It's like having ownership with your story, putting it all into a safe place. but yeah, I think I just throughout, I think I've been discovering a lot of new things about myself through journaling. So that's what led me here, what led me to journal. So I'll kick this off with Kim.
So my reason to journal started off with just having like a planner that I used to like buy every year and kind of have organization through that. But then my friend introduced me to like bullet journaling, and that kind of gave me a different outlet to be more expressive and draw and write and just like make different types of spreads that could really benefit certain parts of my life. And then it kind of became like a roadmap to like why I was feeling the things that I was feeling, and just like making sure like I addressed like anything that I told myself, or like just more introspective work in terms of reflection that I got to put in one safe space. And so it just became like a source of understanding for myself and how I also made decisions. And that's kind of why I really enjoy journaling too, is because writing was a way for me to express more of my values and how I am the way that I am.
All right, so what is journaling? So journaling is a tool for your self-discovery, personal growth, and improve health and creative expression. And so really you can use journal writing to get to know yourself better and to solve problems, make life decisions, increase feelings of gratitude or joy. You could also journal for just for fun. It's a nourishing practice. And but why journal? So journal is, for me, it's a check-in process. Just keeping track of what I'm going through, building self-awareness, and also to reflect on my own reflections. So to me, journaling it's like my therapy. It's like having an open conversation with myself, non-judgmentally. And I just felt really safe to be carrying my journal notebook wherever I go. And part of journaling is about reflecting on how your day went, being aware of how you feel, setting intentions, and figuring out how to improve yourself. I mean, it's really interpreted in your own ways, but that's kind of how I view it. Go ahead, Kim, to answer your why.
Yeah, so to me, why I journal or what is journaling is pretty similar, but I also do it a different way. And I think that is through like grounding myself and through just celebrating the spectrum of the emotions that I have and all the thoughts that I have as well. And so just being able to learn more about myself and understand why I do things that I do, or just like the root realizations of like how far can I get back to like these certain like traits or certain habits that I do. And then I also journal just to like reflect and think about how to be accountable towards my goals, and then even write my goals down. So I'm more like a brain dump person. Like if there's a lot of thoughts in my head, I need to like put it on paper, or else I'll just keep like getting stressed about it. And then by doing that, I can create a plan, right? It's like, when should I get this done, or how do I get this done, or what are these goals? And then just being able to put that all in one space and feel more, I guess, reassured that I know what I'm doing, or that I know all the steps and not forget anything.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Kim. And I found this quote just like a few days ago, and I think it's kind of, I like it because journaling is like the art of listening to yourself. It's about paying attention to what you're feeling inside and how you can carry that out on the outside. So feel free to take a screenshot of this quote or take notes in it. And we're going to dive into the how, when, and where to journal. So for when, you can journal anytime in silence or when comfortable, either in your bedroom, on the bus, station, or your class. I usually like to do it in the beginning of class too, just to kind of like, okay, what am I going through right now? Or sometimes I like to do it in my own bedroom in the morning or at night. I usually like to do it at night because everything, you just summarize your whole day, you know. But it's really up to you. So, and where you could do it, it could be anywhere, wherever that's comfortable for you. And the how part, so I also want to, just let everyone know that you don't have to be a writer, a good poet, a good journalist to journal. I think I was a little bit hesitant to start because I am not a professional writer at all. I mean, I even have to ask my friends to help me edit my personal statements because I suck at grammars. I like make mistakes all the time. But journaling, I think one thing to keep in mind is journaling does not have to be perfect. Like, it's really about you. It's really about being real. Your emotions are very raw. I think it's important to kind of embrace that imperfections, because for me, I tend to always want things to go perfectly well. But I think just to keep that in mind. And there's different ways where you can journal too. So you can journal on paper, on your notebook, or I don't know if you guys know Microsoft OneNote. There's also Notion as well. So you could look that up. For OneNote, there's actually a function where you could enable passwords. So if you have siblings, if you're living with your roommate and you're afraid to kind of, accidentally showing your diary or your journal on your whatever laptop or something, in OneNote, there's a feature where you could just lock, like you could, every time you log in to a specific folder or document, it requires a password. And so that's for OneNote. You could do that too. And Notion, and while I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a little bit here, because I actually like to share. I'm losing you guys, hold on. I need to move this into a different desktop. Okay, here is what my Notion looks like. And so you can create a page. What I like about Notion is that you can create a folder within a page within a page. So every time I click on a page, I can go to like morning prompts. And so this is what it looks like. And your Notion is free. So I usually write all my personal here, and I'm not gonna open all of them, but this is kind of like the summary, or like, usually I like to do it just to think. I usually do this right away, but if it's on like a notebook, I would just, like if I'm feeling really, really stressed, I prefer writing it by hand, but it's really up to you whether you want to do it online or on paper. But that's another thing where you could, yeah, this is all over the place. I was bloody angry that one night. And then it led to, I think it all went really well. I think you could tell, exciting, refreshing, sleepy, but open-minded. Okay, anyways, enough about that. I'll pass it on to Kim.
Yeah, so I noticed we have a question from Samaya in the chat. Okay. And so you really want to get started with journaling, and there's just so much going on with life. So how do you kind of like make it easier to journal all those types of information? I think it all depends on, again, like how, when, and where. So for you, if it's like, how do I do that? You can make it into a list. You can make it into just jotting down whatever you want to in that 30-second to 1 minute of time you have for that day. You can make it even longer. So it's also like thinking about like time, like how much time do you want to dedicate to journaling? Do you want to just do it whenever you have free time, or when you are just sitting down and you're frustrated, you just want to have thoughts just like roll off your tongue or roll off your mind, and just being able to put that in a space. So I think there are different ways of like the how again, right? Like just putting that whole brain dump onto a piece of paper, and it's going to make no sense sometimes, and it's going to sound very confusing. But once you look back, you're going to be like, oh, wow, those are the thoughts that I were having at that time. And maybe now I can figure out more of going back to it and maybe rewriting that again in your own way as well. So sometimes you can just go back to old writings and just being like, okay, maybe that's what I mean, after you like digest a little bit and understand more of yourself. So again, there's like so many ways you can journal, and there's different ways that fit every person's needs. And going back to the imperfection, like allow yourself to just like be with your thoughts and then write whatever you need to at that time, and just kind of figure out what is best fitting for you.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't have to put it all into one. So for example, I realize I do this sometimes too, like in the morning, this is how I feel. In the afternoon, this is how I feel. Like during night, this is how I feel. You don't have to wait until, because I know it's a lot. But even if that's not working for you, because sometimes it takes time to do that, to have a place to do that. Again, I like what you mentioned, Kim, just to bullet point. Here's what I'm feeling: excited, sleepy, whatever, or upset, stress. And then you could expand on that. I also included a prompt here, usually monthly goals. If you see my screenshot, what did you learn this month? What did you accomplish this month? What are you feeling? We do have prompts later on after a few slides, so we can go over that as well, just to help, start how can you really start, with this. So, but yeah, we do have prompts later on. So Kim, you can take on this slide.
Yeah, so one of my methods that I journal is called bullet journaling. It's like you have these open pages and they're just all dots basically. And for me, it's just like this mindful practice disguised in like a productivity system. So you make your own like spreads, you make your own planner, and you kind of make it very unique to your own needs. And you can have different types of like spreads, to-do lists, goal setting, monthly systems, and just kind of like asking yourself, like, what do you want from this bullet journaling, and what type of notes do you want to put into it? So sometimes I also add like affirmations and just different types of things that kind of fit like my needs, and also just like mindfulness and a to-do list. And then I also do weekly, like, what are my meetings? And it's kind of like my own like Google Calendar at the same time. And I always like mix and match depending on how I feel. And I don't know if that's something that you guys are interested in, but it could also be a different way to journal if you want to also have a planner and journal together, plus like a mindfulness practice at the same time, where you check in with yourself too. And then I have like some examples on the next slide of just like different things that I was doing if you wanted to see what it can look like. The first one is like a timetable of like my schedule when I was in college, like my yearly goals. Sorry. And then like I have like a self-care menu. So trying to, oh my gosh.
Are you okay? It's okay. You can take a pause and get a sip of water too. I'm gonna do that actually. It's a good reminder. Yeah. Yes, everyone, yeah, a reminder to get a sip as well.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have one for like my exams and essays, and then just like things I will complete, things like goals and drawings. And again, it's just kind of like how you want it to look yourself. And if you want more tips, like there's Pinterest and Instagram and just different ways that people have done it themselves.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna just take, you know, a 6-minute pause on our part, but for the rest of you guys, feel free to grab your paper ready and or even type it out. Number 1, I will take 10 minutes, a break to, you know, and then you can answer. Number 2, I will stop blank. And also feel free to drop your questions or share your responses with this exercise here. I'm actually, you guys don't have to write the whole thing here, but here's what I'm gonna do, just to, for example. For one, I need to look at this. Okay, I will take 10 minutes a day to, for example, do this, practice yoga. I will stop, for example, overworking. I tend to overwork things that I need to, yeah. For 3, for example, you can take a breath and journal, or just right now drink water. I will actively find beauty in music. For the 5th one, I will routinely, eat. I mean, come on, this is very important. Eat food, eat healthy meal or healthy snack. So you guys can do this. For example, this is what I'm putting in the chat. Feel free to share it. You don't have to, but this is an example of like a 6-minute self-care exercise. You could do this anytime, just to kind of remind yourself what helps ground you. But yeah, this is my example. So we're just gonna pause for a bit and let you guys, allow you guys to kind of flow with your thoughts here. And let us know if you have any other questions. Yeah, so if you want to drop your responses in the chat, feel free to just label 1, 2, 3, just like what I did earlier. So you guys don't have to type the whole entire sentence. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. What would you take 10 minutes a day to do? What will you stop? What will you, routinely do? Again, it's not required to answer, to share that, but feel free to if you would like. Ooh, yes, I like this. We've got some great response. Thank you for sharing this. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay. So I can read this out loud. So one says, for number 1, I will take 10 minutes a day to reflect on my day. Number 2, I will stop comparing myself to others or stressing over little things. I will take a breath and choose a healthy food. Yes. I will actively find beauty in little daily moments. Ooh, I like that. 5, I will routinely exercise, go outside, stretch my body. I will stop obsessive behaviors. I will take a breath and mother myself. I like that. I will actively find beauty in nature. Yes, I wrote that as well for the nature part. I will take 10 minutes a day to watch funny videos. Yes, I will stop procrastinating. I will take a breath and meditate. Yes. Check in on yourself. Let's see here what else we have. Oh, nice. You would take 10 minutes a day to check in with your mom because she's in Vietnam right now. You will stop overthinking. Take a breath if I need to. Yeah. Yes. Routinely exercise and stretch and eat. Oh my God. I will actively find beauty in the chaos we are living in. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I will take a breath and appreciate the person I have become. Nice. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for sharing your responses. We can move on to the next exercise. So this is, you can create a table here. Basically the yes column would be like, what is life enhancing? The no column is, what is depleting your energy? What do you really want to let go of? So we can take just maybe 3 to 5 minutes for this. I could share this as well, but what I'm going to do is for the yes, what's life enhancing is working on my passion projects. Let's see, community involvement. Let's see what else is life enhancing. For me, I think it's also, I'm just gonna put this all down. And then for the no, okay, I'm typing this all up. So this is my answer here. Feel free to obviously make this your own. This is about who you are, about like what is life enhancing to you. Maybe that's friends, maybe that's family. I mean, the thing that's depleting my energy the most is definitely lack of sleep and always wanting to be perfect, because it's just exhausting to always, you know, work towards this high standard, but I need to let that go. So, yep. But again, feel free to take your time with this, and feel free to also share in the chat as well. I'm getting private messages, but I'll answer your questions in a bit. Okay, nice, Kim. So your yes column is conversations with mentors, and those are striving, yeah, okay, watching TV, reading, okay. Your no column is procrastination, overthinking, tiredness, laziness, right. Yes, napping, okay, yes, power naps, yes. Okay. Yeah, I also put like scrolling through social media mindlessly. So I try to like unfollow things I don't want to like. I really like for example, I love watching like funny clips, but I feel like it's just so distracting. So I had to remove it, and it feels so free, honestly. Like if you honestly struggle to like, I don't know, like just scroll through social media mindlessly, try to unfollow things that you really is really depleting your energy or whatever, and follow some inspo posts. I don't know, inspiration, something that kicks you up or wakes you up. Let me see here. Oh, I'm getting a lot. So we're seeing a lot of responses here. Okay. Life enhancing is education. I've never heard someone say that. I thought I was the only one because I really care about my education. And so I'm glad someone mentioned that. That's also life enhancing to you as well. Working with other students, yes. For the no column, stress around COVID, yeah. Working and then family. Let's see here. Good food, yes. Excitement about my future, gaining real cool knowledge, cats, yeah. Yes, I thought I was the only one with the perfectionism issue, but Kira, same for you too. Yeah. Yes, surrounding yourself with supportive people. Yeah, I noticed that too. Surround yourself with people who really lift you up. Yeah, lack of sleep. Yep. All right, thank you for sharing your responses. So that's, hopefully that exercise is really helpful for you guys to kind of balance out, okay, what is life enhancing, what is depleting your energy? So, and just trying to focus on addressing that. And so we have a few more questions and pause. We don't have to do this right away, but feel free to screenshot this or type this out in your notes or write it out. But these are some things to kind of ask yourself. What, word describes how you want to feel today, or what are you grateful for? What do you like about yourself? What are you like most proud of? What are some things that you, feel proud of yourself or something like that? Yeah, what is the root to why you're feeling this way? And what will you do to make today great? Another thing to keep in mind is you could also ask yourself, what changes do I want to make next week? So I'll just kind of pause for a bit there. Okay, I'm just going to respond to certain messages here. Sorry. Okay, yes. Okay. Yeah. So this, so I think with this exercise, you could just do this at any time. And I'm losing my thoughts here. This could just be like, it doesn't have to be a paragraph. It doesn't have to be, long. I mean, it's really up to you. If you want to expand on that, feel free to. I definitely, for myself, this has been helpful for me personally. I actually wanted to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a bit because I actually wanted to share something that resonates with me. Give me a second here. Okay. This whole screen sharing is kind of annoying, sorry. I have to move things around. Okay, but this is kind of what I wanted to share because it just relates to what I was going through. But literally, before journaling, I literally had emotions all over the place in my head. This week, it was so stressful. I was frustrated. I was disappointed. I was angry. I was mad. It was all over the place until last night I started to, or a couple of days ago, I started to just put it in and look at what happened next. So hopefully that does the same for you too. But again, it's just really about, not just brain dumping, but there's a lot to journaling. But that's just what I went through just a couple of days ago. And I just happened to see this post. Perfect. I needed this. It's a good reminder. Oh, and Kira, not Kira, sorry. Kim, you can feel free to drop the link, because I'm sharing my screen right now, for the evaluation stuff. But does anyone else have any questions? I hope I answered all of them. Let me see here. Yeah, if not, feel free to unmute yourself because I'm getting a whole bunch of messages here. I don't want to skip anything, but feel free to unmute yourself if you want to share your questions if I didn't get through them.
Yeah, so some of the questions I'm looking back at are, is online journaling better than using a pencil and journal notebook? I guess it just again depends on you. So I'm a pencil notebook person, but Unica has done some online journaling, so she can speak more into how that makes her feel. But I think at the end of the day, it's really important to make sure that you address how journaling makes you feel versus another thing you do on your to-do list, which can be again part of that whole routine that could be difficult if you're unsure of how to start. So just make sure that you kind of don't get too, I guess, stressed out about your subpar art skills, or you don't know how to write very well, or just all those different things about perfection and imperfection, and being able to just dive in and just see where it goes and just try it out. And then if you prefer online, that can be something you transition to afterwards. If you prefer pencil and journal, that can also be another way to do journaling as well.
Yeah, there were some really good questions though. I don't know if I answered. Let me look through them again. Okay. There was some really good questions about like how often do you need to look back at your past journal entries. That actually, you know what, I actually it depends on how you really want to. Sometimes you really want to wait, why did you feel this way in the past, or how did you feel this? definitely, I actually went through my past journals a couple of days ago, and it was just, it makes sense. Like, oh my God, no wonder why I felt that way. And so it really depends on what you want to feel, or what you're trying to understand yourself. Like, why did you feel this way? Or maybe you just really want to reflect on what you were, like, how did you feel back then? Right now I'm in a really good place, but a couple, months or years ago, I was in a horrible place. And just looking back at it, I was just like, wow, I know, like, I was just trying to understand why I felt that way. But like literally, I think since like last week, I've been journaling every single night because I had, like, this week has just been super stressful for me. But definitely, I feel really good now, and I feel a lot better. Just again, you saw the image about the girl with a whole bunch of scattered stuff around her brain, and then now it's just all dumping down to the paper. So you're really putting it all into, you're just taking control, controlling your emotions, controlling your thoughts. So sometimes you don't have to look back at it. Sometimes you just, the past was just too ugly for you to look at. Totally, you don't have to look back at it. Sometimes people just burn it. I actually burned a few, not burn, but like just throw away, rip it off. It actually feels really good. You should try it too. Like, just like literally rip it by hand. It feels amazing. And just, shred it and dump it, recycle it. But sometimes I like to keep it because it's just really the moments back then I felt it's kind of important to what shaped to who I am today. So yeah, I think that's, again, journaling doesn't have to be perfect. It's about being real with yourself, being authentic, and you don't have to share this with anyone. This is for you. Let's see what the questions. Are there journal strategies for figuring out what you are feeling if you know the root of the emotion but not the emotion itself? Ooh, this is a great question. Journal strategies, do you mean like prompts, or do you mean like a template, an outlet, or not an outlet, like an outline, like online journaling, or paper? Figuring out what you're feeling, if you know. What are the
I think I meant like a prompt or maybe like a strategy for like looking over your entry and then like trying to like not dissect it, but like using that as like information.
Oh, figuring out what you're feeling. So, let's, if you know the root of the, so like if you know the root of the emotion, but not the emotion itself, this is interesting. What do you mean by knowing the root of the emotion? Is it, for example, like I know that I am stressed out, but I don't know why I'm stressed out? Something like that?
It's like, I guess like I have a hard time like if I'm going through a situation, okay, like I know this is like a negative situation and I know I'm feeling badly about it, but I don't know what emotion I'm feeling about it. If I don't know if you struggle with that, but that's something I struggle with.
Oh, I think I might have a couple times. I just kind of, what I do is just I let it flow. And maybe I think, I don't know if you were the same, if you were the one asking about the whole like past journal entries, because you're trying to figure out like, I don't even know what I'm going through. Like, you don't know the emotions that you're going through. Is that right? It's just, but you do know that you're feeling something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes, I actually went through something like this quite similar. And that's the reason why I just kind of put it all into my journal. And then one day I might look back and be like, oh, so maybe this is the reason why. Because sometimes your past and your future or your present self kind of connects in certain ways because you're going through maybe the same scenario or situation. But yeah, I think I think that helps too. I think my counselor actually mentioned this because I actually struggle with this, but my counselor said reflect on your reflections. It may not make sense to you right now because it did not make sense to me at all back then. But then for me, I was just like, oh, reflecting on my reflections could mean reflecting on your past reflections, you know? So I don't know if I answered your question, but I know I struggle with this too. But Kim, if you have anything, feel free to share. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like sometimes when I'm feeling something, I say I don't know a lot, or I know a lot, and I'll just be like I don't know, and like kind of admit that, and then go a little bit more into it and be like, wait, I do know why I'm feeling that, or what this feeling might be, and so maybe just letting yourself sit with the unknown of like I have no idea what I'm feeling, and maybe I need to flesh that out later or my own time, or just like kind of admit that I do feel bad. Okay, okay, but if I feel bad, like what is this bad that I'm feeling? You know, like I'm feeling frustrated or angry or upset or sad. Like what is this bad that I'm feeling? And then just kind of like keep going, like a kind of like a mind map in a way. Like this is like how you're feeling, and like go like under more, and then go more under, and then I guess just like keep going until you're like, okay, like this is where I'm at. And that can go the other way around too. Like, okay, this is how I'm feeling, and then why am I feeling that, and then why, and then just like keep going back and forth. So maybe that's how my mind works, in that sense of trying to figure out the why each time I feel something.
I definitely, Gracie, I like the question because there was times where I just cried and I wasn't a good, it was a good day that day. I don't know why I started crying. And it's because maybe I was holding it for so long for the past month and now it just suddenly hit at that point. Like, why am I feeling this? And maybe it's because in the past it just hits you right then. It's because I was bottling it up the whole entire time for months and I suddenly let it out that one day, even though it was a good day for me that day, but then suddenly, boom, I started crying, buckets of water. I was like, what the heck? And then I realized, oh, so is this maybe because you were subconsciously thinking about the pain or the hurt or whatever, just not knowing. But yeah, and that's why that's the reason what led us to journal. And I mentioned about just trying to figure out the root problem of what I'm feeling, because our brains are just they're just not convenient for us sometimes. They're not nice to us. So that's why we gotta like control that. And that's why I like journaling, because it just makes me feel like I'm in control of this. I got this, I could, you transfer it, just transition it to someplace else, even though it's may not be, perfect or anything like that. It's just your journaling is also about just being present with where you are at and figuring out, okay, well, what can I do to improve next time? Or what can I do? Maybe it is the best that you could do. And sometimes it helps to just talk it out too. But yeah, but these are great questions. Was there anything else? Again, if I miss anything, let us know.
Just jumping on to that question,
Yeah.
something that helps me identify my emotions is free writing. I just literally write whatever's on my mind, even if I don't even know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And even if what I'm writing is just, I don't know what to write anymore. But that would still be a sentence that I put down, either typed out or put on the paper. And then after that, just like Unica said, I look at what I wrote out and kind of reflect on my reflection.
Yeah.
And from then I can kind of pinpoint what I was feeling, if that
Yeah.
helps.
Yes, you know what, adding on to what Lynn is saying, like just literally free write everything. And you know what, this is so true. Like 2 days ago, I literally wrote 2 pages of what I was feeling. And then I started noticing that I'm writing the same thing again. Like it's repetition. So I circled it. It's like, oh wow, so this is a theme of what I'm facing. So highlight it, circle it, because when you're free writing, it doesn't matter. It could be messy, but you don't know it. Sometimes you are repeating what you're saying without realizing it at first. But I've just noticed that just like 2 pages of my journaling, and I highlighted like 2 things that are like, whoa, I'm repeating the same thing. So this is the reason why I'm, like this is what I'm going through. And so it's okay if you repeat things, because it just shows that, wow, this is what you're facing right now. So someone in the chat mentioned if we could, I don't know if you all are not, oh, actually, let me, first of all, I know some people have to leave, so I'm gonna, in case anyone has any other questions, because I know it's just in the interest of time here, we're going to end shortly at 4:20. But feel free to contact us here if you were to screenshot this. But someone in the chat mentioned if we could take a group photo. What is this? Take a group pic with our journal. So like, for example, like take a picture like this. Is that what you're saying? Okay, well, it depends on how other people feel. I'm okay with it, but I just want to make sure if you guys are comfortable, if we could take a group pic and just hold our journals. But I don't know if someone else has their own journal though, because sometimes some people use online digital, but depends on what most of you guys feel. Okay, I'm getting thank you, so yes, no problem, you're welcome. Yeah, and thank you guys for being here. I hope this is helpful. Kim, were you able to drop the evaluation form? Oh, another thing is we could also share the slides with you if you guys would like. We could email this to you. You guys can fill out the email in the evaluation form. I think I'm not sure if Kim did that already.
Okay, I just posted it.
Right? Yeah, in the chat here. Yeah, and so Kim and I can stay on for a bit if anyone has any more questions or comments or just chit chat, get to know more about us or so. It's nice to see, you know, y'all are coming from different places, which is cool. We have someone from Australia. So they're on Sundays, 10 a.m. in the morning. So thank you for being here. Yeah. Yes. You're welcome. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Shout out to Whaley. Thank you so much for your support. Honestly, you just thank you. I was struggling a couple days ago, so it's super helpful to know that someone really cares, and I feel a lot more supported. So thank you so much. Yes, feel free to leave. We're just gonna stay on if anyone has any last minute questions or anything like that. But thank you for showing up.
I was gonna ask, I didn't want to like just like go into my
Oh
whole
yeah.
like, thing, but just like kind of a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you guys use like those like emotion wheels? Like, does anyone have any experience with those? Because I have a really hard time like recognizing my emotions.
Oh.
So I didn't know if anyone had any insight onto like how to use those more effectively.
Oh, this kind of reminds me of like a wheel of emotions, you know? Like where are you at, you know? Or do you mean like the motion rules like so I have this little bit of template where it shows emojis of like feeling sad, happy, gloomy. I don't know if this is but maybe you could just like for example like circle or like it's like a magnet thing. You just move the magnets around like I am feeling this or something like that. Or do you mean like it's like what do you mean by emotion rule? Is it kind of like a linear thing?
Yeah, I think I was thinking of the circle ones.
Ooh, you should
But
Google it, Unica. It's like really, yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Just Google emotion wheel. It's actually really cool. It like starts off with like the 5 emotions: anger, fear, love, joy, surprise, and sadness. And then it goes into
Let's show that. Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe I can go here, for example. I don't know if this is clear to see. I'll expand on that. See, yeah, feelings of emotion, something like that. If you can Google like feelings of emotions, like where are you at? What's your color? Are you, okay, so I like how they expand it. So like, are you mad? Then you could be like, I am hate, like, you know, selfish, angry, whatever, hostile. I'm scared, I'm helpless. So I think this helps. It kind of narrows you down, doesn't it? Right? Maybe, yeah, something like that. Let me go back here. But let me look up what, so Gracie, you mentioned emotion ruler, or I don't know, because this kind of like what you mentioned kind of reminds me of this, for example.
yeah, I think like the wheels are like sometimes they're like flat, like and it's just like linear. I like what Kira said about like the physical and mental. I guess I was just wondering like how to use those because I wasn't really sure.
Physical and mental sensations, and then boil it down to the what I think is sometimes you might be labeled as if that helps at all. Oh, so you meant okay, instead of like emotion, it's more about like the mental aspect of it. Let me think here. I think I'm trying to.
That's how I usually start with those emotion wheels. Is I just like write how I'm feeling physically and emotionally, like just like I'm studying someone outside my own body, kind of like I'm a person who doesn't feel these sensations and someone is speaking to me about those sensations. And then like even if I have to use like an online source because I still don't know like, oh, I'm feeling these sensations, but I don't know what that emotion could be labeled as. I could like Google like, what does this feeling mean or something, and usually it pops up like, oh, you could be feeling sad or depressed, and then I start on the wheel and go out and kind of ask myself like, is this how I'm feeling? What triggered this feeling? If that helps. I use
sometimes it does help to be like, for example, I am stressed, but what kind of stress is it? You know, then I kind of like, I think about my day, like, okay, here's what happened. And then I narrow it down. So like, I think of a big thing, like I am really upset, but like, what kind of, you know, what kind of like frustration are you going through? And I just kind of like list out bullets. I literally just fly it all over the place and just circle like, okay, this is the thing that I'm mostly resonated with right now. This is what I'm feeling right now. Because sometimes I really don't know how to like, because you're going through a lot, right? There's just so much. And sometimes you don't even know what you're feeling. And you're just kind of like, it's hard to kind of narrow down the scope of here's exactly what I'm feeling. Because sometimes you don't have to know exactly what you're going through or exactly what you're feeling. Because feelings are just so, they're very complicated sometimes and we don't know what the heck we're going through. And that's, I think it's okay to feel that because I know it's hard, definitely. But I think it's just for me personally, I just think like just very bluntly just write one word and then just narrow it down, bullet point, talk about like, here's what I'm like, here's my thoughts about this. Here's what I went through today. And, you know, that kind of led me to feel this way or something like that.
Thank you all. I really appreciate it. That's really helpful.
I love your questions. They also help me as well. So thank you for engaging with us. All right. Bye.